It just occurred to me while we're sitting here talking with Kurt Schlichter, fellow senior columnist here at Townhall Media. Kurt, this has been nagging at me, and I feel like you're one of the only people who can sort of cut through the crap and actually answer this one basic question that it's on everybody's mind, but no one wants to ask or answer it. So I'm going to ask it, and you're going to answer it.
All right, okay, throw down.
Alec Baldwin is totally a murderer, right?
Oh my God, Alec Baldwin is so Ned Beatty.
He's a guilty.
Honestly,
okay. Can we say that? Are we allowed to?
Hold on, I have a story.
All right.
What do you
mean he's Ben Beatty?
It's
he's going to end up in the situation.
Yeah, you know what? Sui. Okay. As you know, I'm a trial lawyer in Los Angeles.
This is why I knew you could answer this.
And I tried a case against a man named Brian Panish, the best trial lawyer in LA.
Okay, yeah, that name's familiar to me.
Yes, it should be, because the family of the woman killed hired Brian Panish.
Oh, the woman that he shot.
Yes,
in
hired
the movie.
Brian Panish. I immediately texted Brian, who I remain cordial with.
Yeah.
I went against him once. That was plenty. Look, I'm a very good trial lawyer. I really am.
I know that because he tells me all the time.
But Brian is next level. And it's holy cow.
So
if someone can get justice, by which I mean tens of millions of dollars,
right?
It's going to be Brian Panish. And then the cops, have not charged him.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you.
He sits back, right? And the DA waits, because now it's a civil suit. Now you have to do discovery. You have to do a deposition. If Alec Baldwin comes in, does a deposition, the DA has his deposition.
Oh, that's all evidence.
If he doesn't, if he says, I will take the fifth, which is his right.
You can do that in a civil trial. Okay.
But you can't testify. You can't testify. You can't not do a depo.
You can only take the fifth here and not the fifth there.
If you're taking the fifth, that's fine, but you're taking the fifth.
Right.
You're not taking the fifth now, but not now, wink, nod. No. So the DA is going to say, well, I would like to see what Alec Baldwin says.
So you know the law, and Alec Baldwin's argument is, hey, I'm not a professional. It's not my job to know if the gun is loaded or not. They handed it to me. They said it wasn't loaded. Does that fly?
Yes, in the sense that there's something, and I'm not licensed in New Mexico, so it's a general principle of comparative fault.
Sure.
What is comparative fault? Comparative fault is different people can be partially responsible in certain ways. For instance, you could say, well, this guy drove through the intersection on a yellow light. Really, he was speeding, but the other guy had a red light and drove through. So they're both kind of at fault. 40%,
but this one's more
60%.
at fault, sure.
The jury will allocate. And that allocation applies differently to different kinds of damages. You may end up what's called joint several liability, responsible for all of it, regardless of your percentage, or you may be responsible only for your percentage. It varies.
Right.
But
but considering he's the guy who literally aimed the gun and pulled the trigger, and oh, by the way, if the guy who handed him was at fault, who's that guy's boss who set the rules on the film set?
Exactly.
Also Alec Baldwin.
I'm no fan of Alec Baldwin, but looking at it, there seems to me a clear argument that this is a systemic failure where a number of people failing to do the right thing, any one of them doing the right thing would have stopped this whole process. And in the civil lawsuit, there are a bunch of defendants, a bunch of companies, individuals.
But all of it becomes evidence for a criminal trial. And so maybe that's why we don't see the sheriff actually making a move now, because
I wouldn't make a move. No statute of limitations on murder.
I
would sit back and wait.
So one other question here, because you are a trial lawyer, so you could theoretically put on the other hat. If Alec Baldwin picked up the phone and said, hey, Kurt, I'd love for you to represent me and defend me, what would be your advice?
Okay, well, first
like if he said, hey, Kurt, I've got a big idea. I want you to defend me. I'm going to do an Instagram video where I just sort of talk about this thing.
Oh, dear God. Alec Baldwin is the worst client on earth because he doesn't freaking listen. No lawyer worth his salt would allow him to do anything.
Right.
I mean, it's STFU.
Yeah.
Okay? Shut up. Don't give assume you're even saying something that you think is true and that you believe exonerates you.
Yeah.
Do you think that people can't twist it or change it or misrepresent it?
His ego won't let him.
Exactly.
It's so amazing to watch.
Client.
Yeah.
And he's going to have a problem. He's got his own money to worry about. He's probably going to have his own lawyer. His insurance companies are also going to have lawyers
for
them.
All right.
Now, I believe everyone deserves a zealous defense. I believe he does.
Sure.
And if he called me and said, Kurt, can you help me? Well, can I? Because will you listen to me?
Right.
Because if you won't listen to me, I can't help you. But, I mean, there are arguments to be made. The systemic argument you talked about is, I think, a valid one.
There were breakdowns across the board. But ultimately, listen, our friend Adam Baldwin, no relation to Alec Baldwin, also an actor. I mean, you think about Adam Baldwin's greatest roles, he's always got a loaded weapon in his hands.
Yes.
That's what he's known for. He will say, till his dying breath, that he doesn't care what the system
I get it.
does. If you're an actor and they hand you a loaded weapon, ultimately it's your job to check it.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
Yeah. Whether that's a criminal responsibility or it's a moral responsibility.
Or a civil responsibility.
Right.
Now, he'll make the argument I shouldn't have had to check it. Not going well with a guy like me who knows something about firearms and probably oversaw the training of like 20,000 guys during the military clear.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't have a lot of sympathy for that. I think you have probably a gun-sophisticated jury in New Mexico.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how many of them are going to go, Now, he's a Hollywood star. He's a good actor. He will put on a compelling testimony if he testifies. So I mean, look, if I'm his insurance company, I do what's called, I say I'm putting in the whole policy. I mean everything.
Got it.
Putting in the whole policy.
You got no choice.
Policy limits.
See, and this is a conversation and analysis that is not happening on cable news. Why? This is an amazing story.
Because I don't have Trump on the brain.
That's right. But that's why you come here to Townhall Media, townhall.com, where we do tell you what really is important and what people are talking about, even if you're not supposed to talk about it on other outlets. So keep us coming here. Keep coming to Townhall. That's what I meant to say.
Yes.
We'll edit that out.
All right, Kamala.
Keep coming to townhall.com. And don't forget, most of our real gold stuff happens behind the VIP gold curtain.
It's in the back, baby.
The only way.
Champagne room of Town Hall.
Hunter Biden is there half the time. That should tell you everything.
Impregnating all stuff.
Become a member right now and
do not want to run a fluorescent light around the VIP.
40% off right now for a Town Hall VIP membership. Only this weekend while we're at CPAC. The code is CPAC. Talk to you later, guys.